Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. I used to suffer from migraines and headaches until about 5 years ago when I figured out how to beat them, and I've been migraine free ever since. Now I teach other people how to do the same. And in this video, we are going to be talking about how to beat vestibular, vertiginous, and dizziness type symptoms that so commonly come with migraines and headaches by asking these questions. Now, before we get started, you always want to make sure that you're looking at your body holistically, because as we dive in, you're going to see how deeply interconnected the body is and how many different causes there can be. So you want to make sure you're approaching your body and your health holistically so you're not leaving anything on the table. Don't discount that your symptoms can be caused by something mental, emotional, physical, or environmental. You always want to make sure that you're addressing those areas. And you want to understand that you can get your life back if you're suffering from these types of symptoms. You can feel happy, healthy, and whole again. Now, the first question that we want to ask is it a subluxation? Are one of our vertebrae subluxed? Especially our atlas or our axis, we want to understand this, and we want to make sure that we get the proper assessment, which can be done by a chiropractor that's specialized in vestibular symptoms and migraines, or a NUCA chiropractor, which is a chiropractor trained in the upper cervical spine. So, next thing, mold toxicity. Is it mold toxicity, mold poisoning? Because mold will absolutely destroy your body. If there's a lot of mold in your house, or you have the genetic mutation that predisposes you to be sensitive with mold, mold toxicity will destroy your body, destroy everything you know and love. You want to make sure that you're checking your entire house, that there are no damp spots, there's no puddles, there's no mold, there's no funguses. If there is, cut it out. And I wouldn't even say cut it out, I would say move. Because if it's in one place, it's all over your house, you want to get out of there, just move. Get out of the place as soon as possible. Mold is not something to mess with. Next thing is your BSD, your blood sugar dysregulation. Is your blood sugar too high? Is it too low? Is it high, then low, then high, then low, then high, then low? If you're constantly bouncing your blood sugar, if it's not properly regulated, you will not recover from dizziness, vestibular, any type of brain problems. It's incredibly hard for the brain to recover when blood sugar is spiking and dropping and not regulated properly. Then congestion. Are you congested? Or do you have congestion? Is there congestion going on? Are your ears congested? Are your sinuses congested? Is your throat congested? Are your lungs congested? What's going on there? You want to find out, is it congestion? Then crystals. So inside of your ear, inside of your vestibular system, you have these crystals that sense your position in the world. They give you the sense of up, down, left, right. If these crystals are having a problem, if they break off and enter the ear canal, you can start to develop dizziness type symptoms. So one of the most common kind of checks for this is checking for Bppv. And the kind of commonly used technique would be the epley maneuver, which I'll link to in the description, and you can find videos on YouTube for that. Then, is it postural? Is it postural when you want to check your posture when you're sitting, when you're standing, and when you're exercising, when you're breathing? What's going on? Is your posture off? Are you curved over too much? Are you one-sided? What's going on? Are you breathing properly? Can you breathe properly? Are you holding a lot of tension in your abdomen or in your chest or in your shoulders? You want to make sure you check your posture. That's why I always recommend a CHEK practitioner. Next, side effects. Is it a side effect of a medication? Too much of a medication your body's not handling anymore, nutritional deficiencies caused by medications, or a food that may be interacting with your medications. You want to make sure you're checking, you're making sure with your doctor that's not a side effect. Then trauma. Any type of trauma, especially things like whiplash, concussions, any loss of consciousness, or traumatic brain injury, those are big pointers to what you need to be focusing on, where you need to go. And you want to make sure that you're going to a functional neurologist to have these dealt with. Especially, it's so common to be in car accidents. Even maybe a year later, if the symptoms develop, I still wouldn't rule this out. Next thing, TMJ, your temporomandibular joint. is your jaw joint. This is a place of massive connection with your brain, your brainstem, your auditory system, your vestibular system, and your jaw is the connector between the muscular fascia in your body. It's what crosses and sort of creates the connection around your entire body. So people can tend to hold a lot of tension here, a lot of stress here, especially if we have a bad bite. If something is going wrong with our jaw, we want to make sure we're going to a TMJ specialized dentist. We're having this dealt with. Next thing, infections. Ear infection is very common. It's the most common thing. You want to make sure that it's not an ear infection, some kind of infection, or that it's a gut infection, because your gut will throw off everything. It will send so much energy through your vagus nerve into your brainstem that it's having a very difficult time to cope with anything. Next thing, ataxia. So ataxia, specifically gluten-induced ataxia. This is a serious medical condition caused by people who are people who are sensitive to gluten. They don't necessarily have to be celiacs, just gluten sensitive. And ataxia is a nervous system process where your nervous system just goes completely out of whack. Some of the most common symptoms are like slurred speech and dizziness and vertigo, things like that. Cut that gluten out anyway. If you have migraines and headaches, cut it. Next thing, your vestibulocochlear nerve. You want to make sure you're going to a CHEK practitioner or a highly trained physical practitioner that can assess you so that you're not guessing, and check if your vestibular cochlear nerve is pinched or obstructed or having any issues. Then, of course, your thyroid. Thyroid is a master gland. It controls the metabolism of your entire body. You want to make sure you're getting your thyroid levels checked, not just your T3 and T4, but your entire panel, and so you understand what's going on with your thyroid and if your thyroid is functioning properly. Then, what else? What else is connected? What else is connected to these symptoms? Oftentimes when a symptom comes around, it is not in isolation. There are other symptoms there, other symptoms before, other symptoms after. There's things that precede it, whether it be a food or an activity, or there are many different things that happen. There could be a progression of symptoms, not just the dizziness, but how the dizziness progresses. You want to make sure that you're looking at these different areas. You're addressing your emotional health. Is it tied to an emotional experience? You're seeking out a functional neurologist. You're seeking out a trained chiropractor, a CHEK practitioner, and you're getting assessed. So I'm going to link to in the description 2 articles that really go into depth on the questions that you need to be asking yourself and how to kind of go about it with these vestibular, vertiginous, dizziness type symptoms. And I'll post a link to another article on the 3 answers for can vestibular migraines be cured. So check that out and let me know in the comments below, what triggers your vestibular symptoms? What is it that triggers yours? Your whether it be vestibular symptom, dizziness, vertigo, any type of vertiginous symptoms. What is it? Let me know. Thanks. Hey, it's Mark from migraineprofessional.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe in the bottom left corner, and if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before, and understand what causes them, what creates them, and what you can do about them, make sure to go to migraineprofessional.com. Thanks.